than them scoping out the place. Hey, we're going to rob the joint. He lured them to his house of death.
Welcome, everybody, to the Not For Nothing podcast, hosted by Christopher Michael and Robert Evan, discussing everything from relationships to everyday life struggles, culture, and much more.
What's going on, Robbie? Merry Christmas.
Happy Hanukkah.
And happy Kwanzaa to you all out there today.
Or whatever denominational holiday you celebrate.
Whatever you celebrate.
Non-denominational. This is our non-denominational holiday episode. Yes. And Mom, before you kill me, we got these last minute at CVS. They didn't have any blue ones. I love you.
Right.
Happy Hanukkah.
Merry Christmas, Mom. I love you too. And this is our Christmas episode. You, me, and my family. So
I'm very excited for this episode.
Yeah, so am I.
Yeah.
Everybody celebrates Home Alone, though. That's what everybody celebrates Home Alone.
If you don't like Home Alone, you're not a real person.
It is a Christmas classic.
1 and 2.
1 and 2.
Just like The Godfather, you can argue the second one is better than the first.
I think the second one was better.
I love New York City, especially during the winter time. So.
Oh, yeah, it's beautiful.
So today, and this has been done before, we're not reinventing the wheel. We just wanted to put our own take on it and just laugh a little bit. It's a holiday episode. We just wanted something maybe a little bit lighter.
Shatter the hopes and dreams of all you children out there really quick.
We're going to be talking about the more gruesome injuries sustained by the wet/sticky bandits, Harry and Marv.
Right.
And then I want to take it a step further, Christopher. All right?
I'm sure you do.
All right? I have reason to believe that Kevin McCallister's a sociopath.
Do you?
I do. And I'm going to give you a few arguments and defend my position.
Okay, let's hear this.
So, yeah, first shout out to Macaulay Culkin.
Yeah, Hollywood Walk of Fame. Got a star,
right?
Star.
Yeah.
Look at that.
You know what's sweet, though?
Amazing.
That Catherine O'Hara was there. His mom.
I know.
In the movie. Like, that was
Mrs.
so sweet.
McCallister.
You know, she was 36 years old in real life in the movie.
Yeah, what is she now? 92?
Oh, mean-spirited.
No, I'm
This is
kidding.
a holiday episode, goddammit.
I'm kidding.
When it came out, I think the first one came out in 90, and the second one came out in 92.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Pretty on the heels of one another, pretty quick.
Yeah, so I figure 35 years ago, so she was 36, now early 70s.
Okay. She still looks, pretty much the same.
Yeah, she was amazing in Schitt's Creek. Did you watch it?
I catch parts of it, but yeah, she is.
It's the sweetest show ever made.
She's good.
Her and Eugene Levy can do no wrong.
Yeah, Eugene Levy's good.
Yeah, him in every Christopher
really
Guest
is.
movie. I love him. Best in
Those
show.
eyebrows.
Huh?
He
aged well, though.
Caterpillar eyebrows, man.
As he went gray, he looks like a distinguished gentleman now.
Yeah, I guess.
Oh.
That goes to show. Men age well.
All right, so Chris, what I want to do then is we're going to go over just a few of the more serious injuries.
The savage ones?
Yeah, sustained by the sticky bandits / wet bandits,
Right.
Harry and Marv at the hands of Kevin McCallister. But what I want to do is, Home Alone 1 is a classic, no question. But I think the more serious injuries where it starts getting a little more violent and a little more sociopathic, which is going to, I think, support my argument a little bit later. I think we're going to jump to Home Alone 2. Because this is where you start seeing a really dark side of Kevin McCallister.
Yeah, he goes all in for sure.
This is not him drawing out a booby trap map with crayons.
Right.
This is him.
He's had it.
This is him looking to inflict pain and laugh.
Right. He's had it with these two.
You remember he's walking in the street and like there's the old guy who's talking to himself. And then he gets, the two prostitutes come up to him. You looking for a good time, honey? And he gets in the cab and he's like, it's scary out there. And the cabbie's like, it ain't much better in here, kid.
Right.
Like it gets a little dark, all right?
Yeah,
It starts getting a
for
little
sure.
dark. And I think the pain and damage that he inflicts onto Harry and Marv is reflective of that. And I think
For sure.
Kevin at this point, after being abandoned by his family twice, has now had a personality shift. I think he's had a snap, a mental breakdown. And I think some of the torture, if you want to call it that, that he imposes on Harry and Marv is reflective of that. So jumping into Home Alone 2, we're going to bypass Home Alone 1. Again, some goodies in there, but I think Home Alone 2 is where it starts getting...
Yeah, you just want the brutal shit.
where it starts getting real dark. Like we're talking, not really life or death. We're talking death at this point. So first one being, and this is actually the second attack, vicious attack rendered by Kevin McCallister.
The funniest one, though, in my opinion.
One of the funnier ones for me. We'll get to my funniest one in a bit. 4 bricks to the head. Marv gets 4 bricks to the head launched from the top of a brownstone. So you're figuring 4 or 5 stories up, 4 consecutive bricks to the skull. And I listen, I don't know what world you live in, but I think 99.999% of the time. First off, it wasn't like he launched 1 brick and was like, I wonder what'll happen. You try something once. After that, you're doing it.
Well, see, in his defense, though, he did keep going for more.
Listen,
he didn't
he didn't hear a bell.
Yeah,
I didn't hear no bell.
The sticky bandits weren't the brightest.
They were the sticky bandits in the second one.
The sticky bandits.
So he gets 4 bricks to the head.
He gets 4 bricks.
And clearly, clearly concussed, can't speak.
Right.
His speech is now impaired.
Eyes crossed. Brick indentations.
But
in his
still
forehead.
not knocked out.
No,
So,
definitely a little, little movie magic going on there for sure.
We're going to move on to a bag of concrete that I believe is one of the 3rd or 4th stories. So whether you call it 30, 40 feet high.
Right, when he pulls the string.
And these guys got to stop pulling on strings.
You think they have learned by now?
Yeah, I think there was. So in the first one, Marv got the iron to the head.
Right.
And then there was the doorknob where they got the staple gun to the crotch.
Oh, and then the piano came down the stairs, didn't it? Is that the same one?
Oh, that's the tool shed.
Yeah, the
okay.
tool shed.
So these guys got to stop pulling on strings. Pulls on a string, bag of concrete from about, let's call it 30 feet,
Right.
3 stories, 30 feet, 40, 50-pound bag of concrete, comes down, lands directly on his spine.
Right on him.
Like his head's arched up like this.
Right.
So he's not doing well. But he gets up.
He's down for
He's
the
not
count.
done yet. He gets up. All right? He's not done yet. Let's go on to the next one. Okay, this one.
The electrocution.
Yeah, and shout out to
wild.
Mercedes because I know this is her favorite one. He gets electrified. So then let's preface this a little bit. Marv is, I guess he put down, what was it, like oil on the ground in the basement? It wasn't oil. It was something.
Who, Kevin?
Kevin.
Kevin did.
Yeah.
you
So
said Marv.
Kevin.
Right.
Kevin put it down. And this is where you could tell now Kevin's really looking to maim these guys.
Right.
Because this was a series of events that happened. So prior to the sticky bandits coming, he put down this whatever slippery stuff.
Right.
And mind you, they didn't even know where he lived. In the first one, they knew where he was. He lured them.
He did lure them, you're right.
He lured them to this
one,
brownstone.
he lured them.
This is different than them scoping out the place. Hey, we're going
Right.
to rob the joint. He lured them to his house of death.
He did.
All right. So whatever he put on the ground, I think it was like a greenish thing. Marv is down in the basement because he fell through
Right.
the open ground because he no longer has a field of vision from the 4 bricks to
Right.
the
He
head.
walked into the front door and
Lands
fell.
flat on his face, pretty much gets knocked out entirely. Gets back up, starts slipping on this stuff and lands on the paint cans, right? He slips into the industrial paint cans or
Right.
the paint cans on the industrial shelving.
Yes.
All of it falls onto him. He's been crushed by industrial shelving at this point with full paint cans, covered in
Right.
paint. Stands up, sees a sink. It's not really a sink, though. It's not just a sink. Because Kevin set this up as well.
Right.
Kevin has linked this sink up to an arc welder,
Right.
which you're in construction.
Yeah.
They get pretty hot, don't
They
they?
get pretty hot. Yes.
Links it up to an arc welder to the point where Marv is so electrocuted, his skeleton actually pops out of his
that was
body
hilarious.
with the wig on it.
Crazy.
And he's still got the white paint and his electrified little afro.
I'll tell you, his scream, though, was fucking amazing. That guy is, let me tell you, bro, that was awesome acting, I got to say.
Yeah, the screams were real.
Yeah, the screams were real.
I don't think you need to be a scientist or a trauma surgeon. You're not getting up after this one.
Yeah, probably not.
I don't know the wattage or the volts of an arc welder.
Right.
It's not something you want to put on your tongue like a battery.
No, it's not. If it's showing your skeletal muscle.
If your skeleton is popping out of your body,
you got a problem.
So again, now we have the bag of concrete, we have the bricks to the skull.
Right.
Poor Marv.
Well, you would think they would have given up at that point.
Right. But you know what? So, 2 to tango. They kept going. But at this
They
point
did.
for them, clearly it's personal, but maybe it's more
Right.
personal for Kevin. Is Kevin doing this for
I don't know.
I think Kevin's getting off on it at this point.
I think he set the traps, but they didn't have to walk through them. That's
Right.
what I think.
Listen, he baited them.
He did, but in defense, you forget. I think you're forgetting the premise of why he did it.
Listen. Let's talk about this real quick.
He loved the owner of that store, and
He
when
did.
he found out that they robbed it,
could have called
took
the
it-
police.
He took it personal.
Could have called the police and just had him arrested.
Not Kevin McCallister.
No.
He takes that shit into his own hands.
Right, because he's a sociopath.
It's
Could have
it.
just called it. He knew where they were going to be.
He's vengeance.
He knew where they were going to be, what time they were going to be there, and what they were going to be doing. Could have
Right.
just called New York City's finest.
He could have.
Took it into his own hands.
He did.
'Cause he wanted to inflict pain.
That was it. He's like, he's vigilante.
This one, I think, is one of the most gruesome. This is the iron pipe to the faces of
That was
Harry
the
and Mara.
best.
Okay, now remember in Home Alone 1, we have the paint cans.
Right.
It wasn't enough for Kevin. Okay, Kevin needed more. All right. It's like the first time, Jeffrey Dahmer, right? First he started picking up roadkill, then he started killing cats.
Is that you were going to put him on the level of Jeffrey Dahmer?
Just saying, Kevin needed more. The paint cans weren't enough anymore.
That was it.
So you have the iron pipe getting yeeted down the stairs. Now, mind you, this is so heavy that really Kevin, I think he's 9 or 10 at this point,
Right.
probably shouldn't have been able to even pick this up. A cast iron pipe, probably about 3 feet
No,
long?
I would say it's a little,
It's movie magic.
movie magic. There you go.
Yeah, so he cuts it. It doesn't cut it. Let me start fresh. Lifts up the iron pipe.
Right.
He's already baited them
Pushes
with
it
2
over-
cans.
pushes
Okay.
it over the stairwell.
He throws paint can 1, and he throws paint can 2,
Right.
and they're like, "Remember the first movie?" Think they got
He
away.
goes,
No,
I guess I missed you.
he was baiting them the whole time. Okay. Launches down the iron pipe, connects on both of their faces. They fly down. Not just the 10 steps are already up, but
Right.
there's also the hole in the floor.
Right.
So they fly down another level as well.
Right.
He's not done. He's not done. Then he cuts the iron bar with a pair of, what is it? The
The the pipe cutters?
pipe cutter. Takes it. That rolls down the steps. Hits the bottom of the steps. Rolls down the hole in the subfloor.
Right onto their chest.
Right onto their chest. Okay. You're not getting up from this one either. Took it a step further. He didn't need to cut it. Didn't need to cut
He
it.
did. He needed to make sure they were down for the count.
No, they weren't.
Listen, he's a helpless little boy. He's got two men that are looking to kill him. Keep in mind, they are looking to physically kill him.
Right, which is why he should have just called the police instead of luring them into his house of death.
Yeah, I don't see anything wrong with it. I think, why not? Just fuck them.
That's what Jeffrey Dahmer said.
If they want to keep going, keep walking through the traps. I mean, they weren't the brightest criminals.
No, but
obviously.
they're also
Right.
incredibly impaired at this point because of all the head blows that they've taken. This is like watching a boxer when he's 72 give an interview, and he's punch drunk.
Punch drunk.
And he's just like, hey, everybody, listen, this is a good fight, and then everybody. So that's the thing. If you just bob and weave, and then the fight's over, and there he goes.
Right.
It's like.
I mean, listen, he was extreme for sure. They definitely got very dark in this one. But yeah, there's an argument for him really just defending himself. I think so.
I don't think this is defense.
I think he
This
definitely.
is premeditated.
It was definitely premeditated.
Okay, defense is, oh shoot, I'm going to be attacked. I need to defend myself.
Right.
Okay, this was premeditated. He lured them into this.
I don't know, Doug. What do you think? I think he set the traps, and if they didn't follow through, they were safe.
Part of me is like, bro, these traps are a little crazy.
Right. They're extreme.
Fucking arc welder.
No, they're insane traps. But it's like, what 9-year-old? Like, he's no normal 9-year-old.
What
No,
9-year-old
he's
knows
not.
how to do it? I'm glad you said that. We're going to get into that in just a
I
moment.
think Home Alone 3. When he grows up, he'd have been like an engineer. That's
Well, see, that's how he's able to do all
he
that.
would have been
Yeah,
an engineer.
listen, very
He's very
efficient.
smart.
Yeah.
Very,
Listen.
seriously.
He clearly knows physics. He clearly knows science.
Right.
Like he's a very bright
There are a
person.
lot of moving parts to
So is
to his
Ted Kaczynski.
traps, for sure.
All right, Ted Kaczynski was incredibly bright.
We're comparing Kevin McCallister to Ted Kaczynski and Jeffrey Dahmer right now.
All right, we're going to do one more, and then we're going to get into some arguments, my arguments, as to why Kevin McCallister, this isn't defensive. This is planned,
I don't think it's
premeditated.
planned. I think it's planned to defend himself.
The last one is the classic kerosene rope / varnish cans from the top of a 4-story building.
Right.
Okay. Kevin McCallister, he's at the top now. He's chasing to the top. We skipped the toolbox. We won't get into that. Well, that one's pretty bad. He's climbing down the rope, gets to street level. Sticky bandits are looking down the building. They still need the picture. Otherwise, he's going to bring it to the police, which he could have just done from step 1. But nope, he wanted them in his house of horrors. I don't know if you ever saw Hostel. It was actually based off Home Alone 2.
Oh yeah, was it?
So the sticky bandits are climbing down the kerosene rope, soaked in kerosene, and Marv looks over at Harry, goes, "You wearing aftershave?" Goes, "It's kerosene. The rope's soaked in it."
Rope soaked in it.
Kevin McCallister has a book of matches. Actually has a box.
Right.
Takes it out slowly lights the first match and
He
holds
looks at
it.
them.
Holds it. All right. Lights the rope on fire.
Right.
They fall about 40 stories through a few wood planks. On the other side of the wood planks,
4 stories.
40 feet. Or 40 feet only. Now, there is something I do want to reference, okay? And doctors reference this. It's called LD50. And what the LD50 is, it means what percentage of people
Right.
at what point will 50% of people die?
Right.
And the general rule of thumb when it comes to falling from a height
Right.
is 4 stories. It wasn't enough for Kevin because he put cans of varnish and paint on the other side of those wood planks that they fell through.
Right.
Only to, again, engineering, strategically have them launch at such an angle. He took their weight into consideration, okay?
Smart kid.
Because he knew the impact of what they'd hit, and he knew the angle that the varnish cans would fly up on and land directly on
Right.
their corpses. Wasn't enough. Because he's still, we're not even going to get into it, then he had the pigeon attack.
All right. Well,
All right.
let's move on to why you think he's
Okay. So we have a few arguments.
Now, keep in mind that these guys continued to pursue him the whole time, trying to kill him. So at many points, this was still self-defense.
They're after what? Yeah, right.
Yeah, but the Joker was a villain.
Well, I think Kevin's a villain.
Kevin was an innocent 9-year-old boy
Was until his parents abandoned him twice.
being attacked by 2 grown
Listen,
men.
you get abandoned twice as a 9-year-old, that'll give you some mom issues.
Yeah, I don't
and if you
know.
look at Stalin, if you look at Hitler, if you look at Mussolini, all of them known major motherly issues. Factual.
Yeah, but they weren't 9-year-old boys being chased by 2 grown men for 2 years in a row. 2 years straight, actually, on Christmas.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying he had some trauma. When you have some trauma in
Yeah,
your life,
he did.
it can turn you to some dark places.
I
So let's
guess.
go down. Let's go to argument 1. We scroll down just a bit, Christopher.
I'm calling it all self-defense.
Okay, so first, he is fascinated by serial killers.
Why is he fascinated by serial
Old
killers?
Man Marley.
How do you know he's a
1.
serial killer?
Well, he believed he was a serial killer.
believed-
Now, was he? No, he was not. He was a
was
sweet
not.
old man
Right.
who had a conflict with his son.
Right.
And then very, very kindly in the end of the first one, they get reunited and you see
Right.
Old Man Marley wave to Kevin.
Right.
And it's so sweet. But he didn't know that. He thought it was a serial killer and he was obsessed with
Or
him.
maybe he just saw the best in a person.
Saw the best in him after Old Man Marley confronted him.
I think he saw the best in him.
No, he didn't see the best in him.
I think-
he was scared to death. When Old Man Marley came up to him at the church,
Right.
he had to show him he wasn't a serial killer.
But then, he didn't have
and
to
then he
show-
saw the best in him after he found that he wasn't a serial killer.
Kids are curious. Kids are curious.
Kids are curious. Fucking curious about serial killers. So first, I think he's absolutely obsessed with serial killers, and he's also just not a good person too. Because remember the pigeon woman in the second one, how
do.
kind she was.
She was.
He screamed in her face like a little jerk.
But then they were best friends at the end.
Right.
Right.
After she saved him.
Right.
After Old Man Marley saved him. After Old Man Marley came up to him at the church.
Kevin makes you prove yourself, man.
Okay.
He makes you prove yourself to him.
That's point 1. He's obsessed with serial killers. Point 2, he tortures innocent people for fun. Okay?
Let's say it's a joke. The pizza guy, stop it.
Listen, it starts as a joke, and the next thing you know, you
I
fucking
know.
skinny
I've
cats.
called in some fake pizzas before.
All right, so he didn't call in a fake pizza, though. He called in a real pizza and made this poor 17-year-old who was driving in a winter storm, ice out Chicago
Right.
suburbs,
Listen to the machine gun video.
listen to machine gun thinking he was getting shot. Now, I don't think he had... Did he have the firecrackers with him, or he just played it really loud?
He just played it real loud. He said, leave it on the doorstep
Get the hell out of here.
and keep the change, you filthy animal.
So, yeah, it makes him believe he's about to be shot. An innocent guy just delivering pizza.
That's not torture. That's a joke. Look at the Jerky Boys.
It starts as a joke, Chris.
It's a joke. It's all a joke.
It's all a joke until you start skinning cats in your basement.
Started and ended as joke. Pizza guy left. Pizza guy left
Obsessed with
unscathed.
serial killers. Oh, well, not unscathed. He could be traumatized.
He was unscathed.
Physically, he's fine.
Nah, not going to win this argument. He was unscathed. He was good.
Doug, would you be traumatized? You thought you were being shot at for delivering a pizza?
Yes.
Okay. So, gaslights his mother. Okay.
Oh my God.
Okay. The first movie,
She abandoned him. She deserved it.
she didn't abandon him. They were in a rush. It was an oversight.
She deserved
She
it.
was.
How do you wait? Stop, hang on. Let's. Blah, 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 blah. No good mother would ever overlook their kid not being with them on a trip and leave them in another state.
First off, they had what, 37 kids with them?
I don't give a shit.
Okay, she got a lot on her plate.
Yeah, right.
All right. You know, she's getting digged down by Big Daddy Kevin.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's got that finance money.
Daddy McCallister.
Yeah, the Big Daddy McCallister's dicking her
He
down.
was big dicking her. So she forgot.
Did we say that? I'd be more concerned about saying that than saying.
she forgot her son.
Yeah.
You think it's happening on Christmas Eve anyway.
Right.
What do I think is happening?
Dude, he was
Meaning what?
splitting her open like a fucking Yule log.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. He was Big Daddy Dick and McCallister her.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So, and then in the second one, do you remember? So
don't-
they're going to the airport, and first thing she says is, "Where's Kevin?" And he's like kind of hiding. And
Right.
He goes, "I'm right here, so you don't forget me again." Makes her feel like
Oh,
shit.
stop.
Every time she thinks something happened, she out of a place of love, like, "Oh my God, I need to make sure my." Gaslights her and makes her feel like shit for what she did.
She forgot him.
She's not wrong.
She forgot him. Listen,
wrong.
if my mother forgot me, I'd harbor some feelings too. I would. You wouldn't harbor feelings? You would harbor feelings.
He has no self-control. Argument 4. Okay.
Harbor feelings.
Argument 4, he has no self-control. Now, on the first one, he wanted the plain cheese pizza, and I think there was only pepperoni left. And his brother Buzz, who's the older brother, and older brothers are always annoying, right?
Yeah.
That's like kind of the job of the older
It
brother.
is. That's our,
so he
it's
made
our
a
duty in life.
right. He made a joke about eating all of it, and then he was like, "I'll throw it up for you."
Right.
Kevin has a guttural scream, charges his brother, attacks him over a slice of pizza.
Yeah,
he
you
has no self-control.
You know what I think? I think he was just attacking a bully. He was sticking up for himself.
I think it's pizza.
What do you think, Doug? I think he was standing up for himself against a bully.
Because
I think that's what happens. It's when you get bullied enough. I know my brother used to try to stand up to me. Didn't work, but he tried.
Pizza, and he attacked his brother.
Oh boy, I
All right,
don't know.
so this one-
What do you guys think? What does everybody out there think when you watch this episode? Was he a sociopath, or was he just defending?
I'm not done yet.
His 9-year-old
I
little
got a couple
self?
more for you. So, as we just talked about, his booby traps, they're not, "Oh, I stubbed my toe." They're dead. Several times over,
They're
they're
death
dead.
traps.
Yeah. And if you survived one, you want to make the argument, could you hypothetically survive one of them? Could you hypothetically survive 4 bricks to the face? I guess somehow, some way, possibly. Could you survive everything that they've been
I
through?
wouldn't say 4. You might be able to survive 1.
All right.
2 would probably be.
He's torturing these guys.
2 would probably crush the
Torturing.
skull.
This isn't self-defense. This is torture.
I don't know.
We got into that. He has violent hallucinations. Okay. Remember in the first one, he's down in the basement and he's scared to death of the furnace, right?
The furnace, right?
And then the furnace starts glowing and opening and closing, talking to him.
Yeah.
Furnaces don't do that.
I think he's just a scared little boy and had a nightmare.
A walking nightmare.
Right.
That's called a hallucination. There's a term for that.
I think it was just a nightmare. I don't know.
So
man.
he's having hallucinations. Okay. Now, keep going on. He has no respect for anybody's privacy. Okay. Uncle Frank in the second movie, who Uncle Frank's a piece of shit.
We got to pull this up for everybody to see Uncle Frank in the shower.
we'll get that image on that.
I love this guy. What a great scene.
All right. Now he's got the talk boy. Talk boy.
Talk
Talk
man.
boy.
It was
Talk man?
Talk man, I think it was called.
Talk,
yeah.
whatever it was. He has no respect for anybody's privacy. You know, is his uncle showering in there?
Right.
What's he do? Starts
Records
watching
him.
him. Starts recording
He
him.
records them. He doesn't watch them.
Well, he does. Because he's in the bathroom looking around a towel like that.
Yeah, right.
All right. Looking, curious, trying to see what's going on. And he records him. He has no respect for anybody's privacy.
Okay.
Keep going. Think I'm done here? He lets his neighbors' houses get destroyed. Okay.
That's
Yeah. Okay. In the first one, he knows that the sticky bandits, then the wet bandits, because Marv had a penchant for clogging up the drains
right.
and stuffing the, whatever. The
Right. That
fucking-
was his like
his
his
calling
mark,
card.
His calling
His
card.
calling card.
Yeah.
He knows that the neighbors' basements are getting flooded. So you remember
Right.
at the first one, he goes through, I believe, his cellar door, goes into his neighbor's cellar, like through I don't know, people down in Florida, they don't have basements down here.
No.
So essentially, it's like a crawl space.
Flooding would be a problem.
Flooding would be a problem on your first level. In the north, we dig into the ground because down here it's what, limestone?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, it's limestone.
Yeah, but there's no basements down here. Up in the
Right.
Northeast and up in Chicago in the Midwest, basements are a pretty common thing. So what the sticky bandits or wet bandits would do is they would flood the basement. So he goes into his neighbor's house and he goes through their crawl space, which leads to their basement, and he sees it's flooded. Now, eventually he gets caught. Old man Marley saves him by shoveling the 2 guys to the head. But he knew that any house the wet bandits had been to, they destroyed their houses as well.
Right.
Did nothing to prevent it from happening. Did nothing to let people know. He knew neighbors' houses were being destroyed, and he was negligent at best.
I'm still calling bullshit. He's a 9-year-old kid.
Keep going. You think I'm done?
9-year-old.
Doug, I'm not done.
9-year-old kid. They expect so much of a 9-year-old.
He's a compulsive spender.
Did you know you can't even be tried as an adult till you're 15 years old? There's a reason for that.
He's going to keep killing.
It's because children don't know the difference between right and wrong.
He's going to keep killing.
Okay.
Don't worry. He's 9 now.
He hasn't killed anybody.
You don't know that?
But you don't understand the consequences of your actions.
Okay. The
You
spending.
don't truly understand the consequences of your actions.
What was it? $967 in room service? Spends money, steals his dad's credit card, checks himself into the nicest hotel because he was watching what, Ding Dong Ditch?
Yeah, he was
and
like,
he uses his talk boy.
He's like, fuck you guys, you forgot me again.
They didn't forget him. He, because he's so compulsive and can't be told no,
He was forgotten.
at the airport, decided to stop while they knew they were rushing to the gate because he needed to have his talk boy right then and there for no apparent purpose.
Right.
He thinks of no one but himself.
Spoiled child.
All right, go up for me. Credit card fraud. Remember Tim Curry as the receptionist at the hotel?
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
I do. He was great, too.
Commits
I love
credit
that
card
guy.
fraud?
It's amazing.
Okay. Let's keep going. Doesn't have a single friend.
Oh, sounds like 9-year-old boys misbehaving.
He has no friends. Now, he has relationships and friendships with creepy old men, and he has friendships with pigeon women, but he has not a single friend.
That shows he has a great heart, and he's accepting of people for who they are.
After they show them that they're good people, but he doesn't trust anybody.
You got to prove yourself. You got to prove yourself, man. You got to earn trust and respect. You know, you don't just get it given. He was young and he knew that.
So here's how he's manipulative. Ready? In the first film, he lulls the burglars into a false sense of security with his apparent innocence. And he lies his head off to the supermarket checkout girl. Not just her, but at the pharmacy as well. When he asked if the toothbrush is what, US approved or whatever, dental approved.
Oh, yeah. Something like
ADA approved.
Yeah, these ADA approved.
Then he steals the toothbrush because he sees old man Marley.
Right.
Even though he's obsessed with serial killers, he was probably so intimidated by his presence he had to leave. So he lies to the supermarket checkout girl, stays at the luxury hotel, splurges on money, takes taxis, walks around completely alone, goes to toy stores and spends more money, talks to strangers, never loses control. He's in control the whole time, Chris. He knows what he's doing.
He does know what he's doing.
Yeah.
I don't doubt that.
9 years old, New York City.
Yeah.
Setting up traps like that, spending money like that, big dick living.
Hey, listen, I want him behind me. You know, if somebody was coming after me,
And finally,
I'd take him to back me up.
he's obsessed with violence. Okay. You can't debate that he's obsessed with violence.
He is definitely obsessed with causing serious damage to
Inflicting
people, for sure.
Massive damage.
Who knew he was actually playing the good son the whole time?
Yeah, I mean, what movies does he watch? When his parents leave,
He
what's the
actually
first thing he turns
that
to?
one fucking movie the whole time.
Angel with Filthy Souls.
Angel of Filthy Souls. Yeah.
You think, he's kind of young, but you think most young kids like want to watch like porn or adult movies or whatever. He goes for violence. My man goes for Angels with Filthy Souls. Tommy Gun.
Listen, this is Richie Rich you're talking about here, man.
That's his pre-Richie Rich. Probably murdered that family and then took their son's place.
Was like The Orphan. See the fuck the movie, dude.
Creepy kid. Oh, it's always kids, man. Kids are always the creepiest.
This is like a 32-year-old woman, really.
Oh, The Orphan.
The Orphan,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, man.
Massively sheltered. Go down a little more from me if we could.
Oh, I can't wait to hear
Look
the
at that
feedback.
smile.
I can't wait to hear the feedback on this.
So, extremely sheltered, right?
Yes, he is sheltered.
He has no friends. He has no relationship with any of his siblings.
Okay.
Clearly doesn't get along with his parents. What happens when he can't even leave the house in the beginning of the first movie? What happens when the cops knock on the on the door? He hides under the blankets in his mother's bed
Why does he do that, though? There's a reason for it.
because he's sheltered.
No, there was a reason for that. I forgot what it is. We're going to have to look that up.
But why did he hide when the cops knocked on the door?
I think that was a different scene. I think he hid under the door, under the covers.
He hid under
after-
the bed, I think.
Yeah,
Under the- that was under the
after his
covers.
parents left.
Yeah, because then they
Right.
finally get to France. They
Right.
contact the local police. They said, we'll do a wellness check. This is the first one.
At that point, he had already encountered the burglars. That's why.
So he thought it was them.
Yes,
Got it.
he did. Now I remember. He had already encountered Marv and Harry.
Go down a little bit for me.
Harry.
So here's this. Now, this is my problem with Kevin because you could say, look, this poor kid, was left home alone, and he was. No
Right.
question about it. It was an oversight. It was an accident. The mother clearly.
It's a fucked up accident.
It
bro.
is, but she feels so bad about it.
Right.
It's not like, oh well, when we get back from France, she's in a panic to get home.
Right.
Sells her personal jewelry to bargain and haggle with an old couple.
Yeah, of
to get their
course.
ticket. Gets in a van with John Candy.
Right.
Great cameo. The uncle calls him a little jerk. His brother calls him a disease. But notice, the family doesn't talk to each other like that.
Right.
They only talk to Kevin like that because he's a little prick. Okay? Little piece of shit.
Hey, listen, the little brothers always get picked on, man.
He gets it from the whole
The
family.
little brothers always get. It's always the.
Why is it-
always the middle? He was a middle child too. You don't forget that.
No, Fuller was his cousin, not his brother.
Was he?
Yeah, Fuller was his
He
cousin.
didn't have a younger sister though.
I think he was the youngest one.
Was
I'm
he?
almost certain.
All
Almost certain. But the family doesn't talk to each other like that. Family all gets along. I'm sure they have little tiffs and quarrels. They call him a disease and a jerk.
What do you
This is
think?
the first 6 minutes of the first movie.
Is this a good argument? I don't think so. I
There's
think
a few compelling points where you're like,
I don't
shit's
know.
starting to add up. Walks like a duck, talks like a duck.
yeah. Well, I guess that's true. But I still think it was self defense.
So listen,
Scarred from his mother leaving him,
listen, I'm not saying
terrified of the criminals chasing him.
generally people who have these psychotic breaks the way Kevin does with things like torture, it's because of trauma. And
Right.
it often, of course, if it's from your mother, like, yeah, dude, that's gonna set you the wrong way. Listen, all serious, I loved Home Alone as a kid. Like I was
Oh,
so
it's a great
obsessed with it.
movie.
I think I asked my mom to call me Kevin for like 6 months.
Right.
Like I loved this movie. But you could make an argument he's got
Problems.
sociopathic tendencies.
He's
You
got
don't want to call him sociopathic, fine. You can very well argue sociopathic tendencies.
Yeah, a little narcissistic.
Again, he's a smart kid. Clearly, he's going to be either an engineer or a Unabomber.
Right. Or as we said, he's the true character in Saw.
Right. So, Doug, what was the theory, Doug?
The traps got crazier and crazier.
So Kevin McCallister turned into Jigsaw from Saw movies.
I think Jigsaw was getting his traps from Kevin McCallister.
Kevin and saw the movie and was like, dude,
I think they
so. This is his elevated House of Horrors.
I think they met, and Kevin McCallister taught him his ways.
I think Kevin McCallister gave him a few ideas. So
Yeah, a
instead
few
of doing
ideas.
that, why don't you chain him? Just give him a saw.
Right.
See what happens.
Let's put this reverse fucking what do you call them? Vice into their mouth.
I only saw the first one.
You know, so wow,
I can't.
So good.
I told you I can't do horror. I can't do torture.
They're
Like,
so good. They really are. The last one's good.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, bro.
Happy
And
Hanukkah.
I really want to know what everybody thinks of that. I want to hear. I really do. I want the feedback. Was Kevin McCallister, in fact, a sociopath?
At the very least,
Or was he just an innocent young boy running for his life from two crazed criminals trying to kill him?
at the very least, he had sociopathic tendencies.
I think he was just traumatized and felt betrayed by his
And
family
what did he do when he had that
left him.
betrayal? He took it out
He took it out
on two people by luring them to his House of Horrors.
burglars / potential murderers.
Right, but again, there was a quick resolve. He could have just called the police. Hey, these two guys escaped from prison. This is where they're going to be. This is what time they're going to be. He didn't go that route.
Fuck that. Kevin wants some payback, bro.
Dude, Kevin, first off,
Kevin wants some payback.
what did these guys do to Kevin?
You're talking about Home Alone 2. They chased him down the entire fucking movie of Home Alone 1. He was like, fuck this
But
shit.
what physical pain did they inflict on him? What bodily pain did they inflict
He
on
was
him?
too smart for them. They couldn't inflict bodily pain on them.
So are they dumb or is he a sociopathic genius?
I think they think they're idiots.
That's fair.
And then I think he's a genius.
Marv is an idiot.
I think in the second one, he was just like, you know what? Fuck this shit. I'm taking these guys down and out once and for all.
Yeah.
They're done.
They started this. I'm going to finish this.
I'm going to finish it. That's it.
No.
This is the end of it. No, that's why there was no more Home Alones.
Yeah.
At least not with him.
Well, they started making Saw.
That's what. And next movie, The Good Son. Fucking movie! I can't believe it. I still can't watch that fucking movie.
No, I saw it when I was a kid
Oh,
with Elijah Wood. The Good Son?
You know,
Macaulay
The
Culkin
Good
and
Son.
Elijah Wood
You look at
said-
Macaulay Culkin a whole new way.
Yeah. He's like
Yeah.
an evil sociopathic boy.
Anyway, so give us your opinions. What do you think? Was Kevin McCallister a sociopath? I don't think so. I think he was defending himself 99.9% of the time, maybe with a little hint of just wanting some payback on these guys for chasing him down for 2 years.
You're getting real loose with those interpretations.
I don't know. I think so. I'm gonna say at least 80% of the people out there agree with me.
No.
8 out of 10. 8 out of 10.
I'm gonna give you the bullshit answer, 50-50.
You think it's gonna be 50-50?
Yeah, because I think a lot of people have made some valid points, and I think people are gonna start looking at it like, I never thought of it, but now maybe I'll go and rewatch the movies.
Yeah, maybe. Let's see. I'm gonna rewatch it.
Make a little hot cocoa.
I'm actually gonna watch it tonight.
There you go.
Actually, I'm watching the UFC fights tonight, baby.
Yeah, some good ones.
Ooh, yeah. So that's it. It's a wrap. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
Happy holidays, you filthy animals.
We'll be talking again before the New Year, so.
Yeah, well.
But yeah, we'll hopefully come up with some nice New Year special for everybody. Mm-hmm. So make sure you guys all stay tuned in, guys, girls, and everybody else out there. Check out all episodes in full on Spotify, YouTube, Amazon Music, and Apple Podcasts. And also, don't forget, we are doing the $75,000 giveaway to our viewers. All you have to do is either subscribe on YouTube or follow us on Instagram and leave a comment on your favorite video. If we hit 1 million followers / subscribers, even collectively, one of you is going to get $75,000. Just remember that it will be announced February 13th, Tuesday, February 13th on that episode as to who the winner is. So guys, definitely we're looking forward to whoever's going to take that money. Make sure to subscribe, make sure to follow, make sure to leave that comment. Thank you guys. Merry Christmas. Robbie, later, brother.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.